when you thought the Jirard the Completionist saga couldn't get any crazier, a wild Greg Wilmot appears. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And yeah, Greg Wilmot has made a statement posted to the Completionist 2 on Reddit, going through not just his feelings about his life right now and what's going on, but diving into what transpired between him and Jirard and why he left him in the first place, giving insight, talking about how he knew something like this was going to happen down the road because of the type of person Jirard is. And this is just another thing that's transpired with Jirard the Completionist. The hits keep on coming, and every time something happens, it makes him look even worse. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for my full article breaking down this wild situation. But in this video, we're going to talk about the statement made by Greg and how it kind of blows the doors off this entire saga. Greg Wilmot is a familiar name in the Completionist saga. For those of us who have been watching Completionist for years now, would remember him back in the Beard Brothers days and how they used to work together in all their videos. And then they had a falling out. And it was kind of weird. People were like, why is Greg separating? Why does Greg want to be no part of this channel at all? Why is he making Jirard delete all the videos and reshoot them without him as a part of them? And for a while there were a lot of people in the community, not myself, but there were plenty of people out there that were frustrated at Greg for doing that and separating himself from Jirard, feeling like he had some sort of aggression against Jirard and that Greg was the bad guy in all of this. And it's almost like Greg knew that if he just waited, Jirard would expose himself for being the a-hole that he is. And here we are finding ourselves in this wild Open Hand Foundation tax situation that Jirard's dealing with, and Greg appears and he's like, yeah, here I am, been telling you guys this all along. This is the type of person that Jirard is. Greg recently took to r/Completionist2 to share his thoughts and experiences post-departure from the channel. His post, while quite measured initially, the more I look into it and read it again, I'm like, this is way more aggressive against Jirard than I could have ever imagined coming out of Greg. He seems like quite a mild-mannered fellow that just wants to keep to himself, and he was silent for so long that this kind of feels like it's out of the blue, like a, yep, I told you so moment. You've been putting your faith in the wrong person. He sheds light on his decision to distance himself from the channel and how he knew all along what a dirtbag Jirard really is. This is wild. Titled, A Message from an Old Friend or Foe. Hello. I'm not comfortable revealing anything privileged that I know about the situation currently. I imagine that the family is under heavy scrutiny now, and any information that I might be able to provide will be provided to the proper authorities should they come asking for it. Right there, Greg is informing everyone that he knows just how bad this situation is, and he wouldn't be surprised if authorities come knocking on his door for more information because of how shady everything is surrounding the Open Hand Foundation and the tax situation with them, and the zero donations over nearly a decade of asking, begging, and lying to people that were donating for frontal temporal dementia and using his mom as the front person for it. The mom that died from frontal temporal dementia. Embarrassingly gross, disgusting stuff, but let's keep going because you'll see it's on brand with the type of person Jirard is. That being said, I'm happy to say my hands are entirely clean in this situation. The whole ordeal is one of the exact reasons why I had him remove all my videos. I had a feeling that there would be some sort of controversy associated with that family after my departure, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want my face plastered all over headlines about an issue that I had nothing to do with, and thank God I did, because damn. Okay, so this right here, when he's like, I'm happy to say my hands are entirely clean, it's almost like he knew back when he was separating himself from the channel that he's like, yeah, bro, what you're doing, I almost kind of see the type of person you are, and I want nothing to do with that because only bad things are going to come. Maybe not immediately, but eventually, someday down the road, what you do, your personality type, it's going to catch up to you. And this is kind of feeling like a victory lap of sorts for Greg, where he's happily dancing on the grave of the Completionist channel. And I guess if I put myself in Greg's shoes, I'd be doing the same damn thing. And yeah, people could get mad at Greg for doing that, but ultimately, he was right. It hurt to have everyone turn on me in the past, but that is pale in comparison to the hurt that the public feels now, especially the donors directly affected by dementia. They thought their money was actively helping a cause and not just being amassed for an ego-stroking donation to be made many years later. They have every right to be upset. Classic call out of Jirard here where he's like, no, you guys got mad at me in the past for what I did, and people were saying how he signed an NDA and couldn't talk about why he separated from the channel. He just didn't want anything to do with it. And he got trashed by the community. People wanted him gone. People wouldn't stop mocking him. And now, all these years later, he comes back and is like, yeah, I know I took my punches back then for doing it, but it was worth it because I didn't want to deal with being a part of who Jirard is now. This is some truly insane shit. To those of you who have been asking how I'm doing, I'm just fine. I live gratefully each day with my loving wife and 2 wonderful children. It warms my heart that there are people out there who fondly remember my sense of humor and the life it brought to our show. Even those of you who hated my personality back then, and even still, sometimes we need a punching bag, and I was happy to be there along for the ride. I have no plans for any content creation or an online presence in the future, but then again, who knows what'll happen next. Greg strikes me as just such a normal dude that's just living his life as good as he can, and he got caught up with a guy that struck him as a bad personality, the type of person that will just do the wrong things and you just don't want anything to do with them. I feel like Greg found that out about Jirard way long ago before most people did, and he separated himself from it because he didn't want anything to do with him. And this letter right here, this statement that he makes, throws Jirard under the bus so bad that I don't know how he could even come back from it. I might respond here and there to people, but please don't be offended if I can't afford everyone a proper response. I'm just simply too busy playing banjo for my children these days. Thank you for your time in the past and for your time reading this now. Now go out there, get some exercise, eat some tasty, healthy food, visit with family and friends, and enjoy the short time that we all have on this earth. Greg, in case you haven't figured that out already. So Greg is taking the high road here, but not missing the opportunity to stomp on Jirard along the way out the door. And I can't blame him. Like I said, if I were him, I'd be doing the same damn thing. If someone was trying to make me look bad for wanting to separate from them because I don't want anything to do with that type of personality, he's getting exactly what he deserves at the end of the day. And this is a terrible look for Jirard on top of everything that's already been happening to him. Like I said, Greg is the one person that Jirard could have had come out and vouch for his character and been like, look guys, what happened with me and Jirard in the past is the past. It's not like he's not a good person. It's not like this, that, the other thing. Jirard's a good guy and just give him a chance. No, Greg did the complete opposite. The one guy that could have spoken to his character and given him some sort of salvation in all of this does the complete opposite and makes him look even worse. And the more you dig, it's almost like the YouTubers that were standing up for Jirard immediately when all this went down are the type of personalities that I wouldn't want to be around myself. And this is kind of exposing all of them for the type of personalities that they are. There are good people in this world, and there are assholes in this world. And unfortunately with YouTube, when you're recording a video, people on the other side don't know what happens when you turn the camera off. And when someone like Jirard, this kind of stuff happening, it shows a lot more insight than he ever wanted anyone to see. Greg takes the time to acknowledge the hurt felt by the community, especially the donors who believed their contributions were aiding a cause, only to find out years later otherwise. He emphasizes with the sense of betrayal, stating, they have every right to be upset. Something that Jirard right now is trying to pretend didn't even happen and just keeps posting videos on his channel and said he's not going to address this situation anymore, left everyone in the dirt, doesn't care about their feelings, about their mentality, about the sadness in their own lives dealing with frontal temporal dementia and their own families. He doesn't care about any of that. He didn't care about asking for donations and not giving it anywhere. No, he just wants to make Mario RPG videos right now, and I don't know, to me, it still turns my stomach. Taking a deeper look at this message, Greg's statement is largely personal and reflective. It casts a shadow on Jirard the Completionist. His decision to distance himself from the channel. He references foreseen controversies, and his empathy for the misled donors paint a picture of mismanagement and ethical issues within the channel, even worsening Jirard's public perception, which has already been under a tremendous amount of scrutiny. If you've seen the other videos I've made on this channel or anywhere else on YouTube, no one has anything good to say about Jirard, and the people that do, I would question their motives as to why. This is the type of person that you don't want to associate with, and everything that's come out to this point has proven that. He's the type of person that, when he gets called out, he threatens to sue instead of apologize. He's the kind of person that tries to pretend that other people are the ones in the wrong, and he's the good guy because he's really good at holding a dog and showing tears while he asks for donations, and it's so gross, it's so sickening, and he's still doing it live on Twitch, getting people to sub to him and donate to him because they like his videos, even though at the end of the day everything's pointing to him being an awful human being. As for me, in the past month I've reached out to Greg a couple of times hoping to engage with him directly and get some insight directly from him as far as what transpired in the background, and Greg never responded to me, and I kind of was like, okay, he doesn't want to deal with any of this controversy. He wants to leave it in the past. So personally, when I saw this come through on The Completionist too, I was shocked. I'm like, whoa, like that is a megaton bomb drop in the middle of nowhere where he's just like, no, F this guy. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to take my victory lap from 10 years ago when I left this channel because I want nothing at all to do with this guy and I want everyone to know that I was in the right and he was the asshole the whole time. You can't make this stuff up. This book could not be written. It would be unbelievable. So Greg says he's not coming back, or at least no time soon, to the online presence. So take that for what you will. If he does plan on making a channel sometime in the future, making some videos, he leaves the door open, but it's not his intent. He wants to spend time with his family and he's enjoying his peaceful, quiet life outside of this stuff. But if anything, this situation opens the door for Greg to make a triumphant comeback. And it's something that I personally would love to see for not just him, but the entire community. It might even provide a little bit of closure as far as what everyone's been dealing with this entire situation. At the end of the day, Jirard looks even worse. This blew my mind when I first saw it and it came out. I was just like, whoa! Like, you thought that if Greg was going to say something, he would have said it earlier. It felt like everything was kind of dying down and people were just letting this go and just letting it play out and letting the law do its thing if they ever get around to it. But no, he decides to wait for now to drop the craziest statement I've seen in this entire saga. Just when you think it's starting to get boring, the fire starts right back up again. And again, I don't know if Jirard's able to just keep ignoring this stuff. He's doing a good job so far of just pretending nothing's existing anymore and just going about his life and making these videos. But I don't know. Putting myself in his shoes, which is kind of hard to do. I'm not that type of person, but just humor me here. If I were to put myself in Jirard's shoes, I would want to try to make amends with Greg and extend that olive branch and create that bridge that I burned all those years ago. And maybe Greg sees through it and doesn't want to, but I mean, at this point, I don't know what you're even supposed to do. It's so beyond fixing that it's just like, I don't know how much worse the fire can get before the whole house burns down. As far as Jirard's channel's going, yes, he's losing more subscribers the more videos he's putting out, but he still has like 1.5 million subscribers. So it's not like a mass exodus of active subscribers that are leaving his channel. He's losing about 10,000 a day or so, which it's a good chunk of subscribers to be losing, but it's nothing insane. So Maybe Jirard thinks he can just ride this out and hope everything dies down. But if stuff like this keeps happening, it is over for him. I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget to check out smashjt.com for the article in the description linked. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Smash,